before we get to halftime. So they pick up the first down after the run, and now they approach for the fresh set. Now this time Rodgers will throw. And he'll be hit from behind and taken down. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up second. And their inaugural sack of the game coming from an unlikely source.
You mean it wasn't a linebacker? It wasn't a defensive end?
It was somebody like you.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's a surprise for the offense. That's not what they normally get when they think about pressure.
They come out here in the eye. Here's Rodgers. He's going to let this one go deep. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. To the sideline, and that is a heck of a catch as he was able to get both feet in.
As if he didn't have enough to think about on that route, the comeback route, coming back to the football and catching it, decided to make sure he toe-tapped and kept himself in bounds.
And that was spectacular, but on the comeback route, maybe a little easier to deal with the sideline since you've got better vision of it.
I think that's a great point because you should know exactly where you're going and know how much space you have and make sure you get your feet down. But, yeah, coming back to the football, I like it. Good vision.
And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned they're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk.
Looking for the tight end, Olsen, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the all-pro corner, Josh Norman. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And where the ball is now, you got the field goal pretty much in the bag. Now do you try for the end zone a couple of times?
I don't think there's any question about it. You might get a gift of 6 points rather than the 3 that you just noted that you feel like you already have. Be aggressive, go after it, and try and get those points. Now that's the way you run offense. Understanding your clock situation. Excellent job getting to the sideline and getting out of bounds. That's the way to conserve time.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And Boswell's kick is good. And that will add 3 more to their lead. It pushes it up to 6. So after the pick, they can't capitalize for 6, but they do get 3.
And I know in this situation, most of us want to focus on the offense. You know what side of the ball I played on. Let's give that defense a lot of credit. Taking over in a sudden change situation and shutting them down.
So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. Out come the Cowboys now as he'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
The more football I watch, the more I want to check and see if teams are going to panic when they're down on the scoreboard. And this team has shown no signs of doing that. A lot of the time, they come out after the half. Things haven't worked so well in the first go-around. They won't throw the football like crazy. But the way to open up throwing the ball is to run it. And they've run it well here to start the second half.
Now they'll throw with Breeze. Finding time. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Sean Lee 7. It's some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Breeze now. He gets it to Brown, complete. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve.
I know they don't have rally caps in football, but Drew Brees would probably put one on right now. This is not the normal Drew Brees performance.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up 2nd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets them back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. They'll get nothing out of that one, and it's going to lead to a 3rd down. Play action. Breeze. He's got time in the pocket. He finds his man, Baldwin. And they pick up 25 as they convert on 3rd. Well, they've been struggling in the passing game. Do you like the aggressiveness there? I mean, it worked on that play, but do you like it?
I do, because a lot of the time you're struggling because your passing lanes are clogged. That usually happens when you're throwing the ball underneath. People start to press up on you, push them deep, find some space, and open things up again. Being aggressive there, I think, will pay off for them.
And they're going to hurry back to the line now. A fresh set of downs, and they're at the 1. 1st and goal. And this is not going to do it as he's stopped at the 2-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
And that's another stop for the defense, something we've seen all game long. They have been on fire today. No matter what's called by the offense, they've had...
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ricky Williams, a 1-yard touchdown reception. And the Cowboys are now just an extra point away from moving out in front. And that one puts them on top here in the 3rd. So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the 2nd half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. And on 2nd and 10 now. Blunt, the lone running back. And they'll give it to him here. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
So they're going to come to the line here, and it appears try to go for it on 4th.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
Easy.
They'll come out in the pistol. Again, it's Johnson. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It'll be a 5-yard pickup there, so from 2nd and 13, they're back to a more manageable 3rd and 8. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding, keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The corner blitz gets there as he goes down for a loss of 7.
The game plan for any defense is finding ways to make a quarterback uncomfortable in the pocket. When you bring pressure from all angles, you never know who's going to get home. In this case, the left cornerback, right in the face of him, puts him down.
And Gostkowski's kick is good. And they bump the lead up to 4 now at 10-6. So they get the 3 here, but you wonder whether that's going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, you've now made it so they need a touchdown rather than a field goal to catch them. But you're right. If they'd gotten 6 out of that drive, this would be a much different game.
And he will take it back only to about the 13-yard line here. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. And last time, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. We'll see if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go-around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches writing notes to themselves before a game, and sometimes that note says, be aggressive, stay aggressive. Maybe that's what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time, will it result in points? We'll find out.
This has been a really nice day for the defense. They've made it so difficult to find open receivers because they're able to squeeze the passing lanes down. A lot of what they're doing is communicating. Receivers in one area, receivers in another area. They're almost what they call passing them off from one defender to the next, even in zone defenses, and making it very hard to find an open spot for the quarterback to deliver the ball. On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
8 yards there on a first down.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
It's a gain of 9 yards, and it'll be second and about a yard. They're going to hurry back to the line now. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he stopped immediately there. He could muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a 3rd and very short.
Like any team, they would have loved to have had more yards on that run, but it looks like they just want to get to the 2-minute warning and see what they want to do after that.
And how about the dime look here? 6 DBs on 3rd and inches.
Daring them to run the ball.
Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this.
I spy a couple of extra defensive backs on the field for Dallas.
Cowboys in the dime on 3rd. Now a handoff here to his running back. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. So 3rd and inches, trying to pick it up the middle. He had nowhere to go, tackled for a loss.
And you know how we talk about double A-gap pressure, meaning linebackers going in the gap between the center and the guard on either side? Well, it's not always to get to the passer. Sometimes you do that to prevent a running play. Worked pretty well in that situation.
Back to throw. Now look out, Rodgers lost the football. It's picked up by the Cowboys. Then he's going to get this on down to the 13-yard line. And they're going to come up empty here on 4th down. The offense for the Cowboys now working their way back onto the field. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet. A good convergence there defensively.